the round 5 about to start now, and I mean, just look at the names versing today. So we got Fabi Caruana, Espenko Andre, so that's something that we we might need to keep an eye on. And we've got Hikaru playing Alexei Serrano. We got Ali Reza Firouzja versing Hans Niemann. So come on, only those 3 games should be quite entertaining for us chess lovers. And what other names? I mean, look at this. So we got Vidit playing today, and Vincent Keimer, and Irigaisi, Savian Samuel. I mean, look at all these guys. Anish Giri, Jan Krzysztof Duda playing, Abdusatorov. Look at all the name here. You name it. I mean, there's just so many good games going to be happening. So many good games. Gukesh Etienne Bakro and Levon Aronian and Richard Report, Svein Rasmus playing. He lost yesterday. So very many good games about to happen. In probably 3-4 minutes, I guess, at 1:30. Just started a bit earlier because but that would be of great interest. I mean, I want to see what's happening, particularly also in this game too, because those guys are very gifted super GMs, and I think everyone is incredibly curious to see what's going to happen in this clash, and they will. 2 minutes from now on, they should be starting. Go fetch your beverages. Get your beverages, guys, at hand. I will be streaming today. Let me check. Actually, I'll be streaming on. I should be live on LinkedIn. I should be live on. Let me check. If we are actually, yeah. So that's live as we speak. Also, we should be live on Facebook. Let me have a quick look here. Oh, my friends on Facebook can actually follow this, and so LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube should be also live. Let me double check. Apologies for extra sounds. Just yep, that's fine here. And kick.com should be as well streaming live now. Not Twitch though. Twitch. Alternatively, so I reckon tomorrow I'll go on Twitch. But for the time being, we'll do these 4 platforms, and hopefully they'll be starting soon. And if you guys prefer, if we're getting like let's say a number of like 4 minimum players available, we might be just doing an arena at some point. But nevertheless, let's just get there. Normally, I'm doing the arenas when I'm on Twitch. It seems to be more people interested or available to playing when via Twitch. But let's not minimize. It might be happening with friends from other platforms as well. So, here we are. All right, no one had started yet, but they should. Let me check the schedule. 29th. Yeah, 2:30. Which is 2:30. Oh, they will. Look at all these names. A lot of good chess nowadays happening, and good stuff is that you can just watch it as it happens. Prague playing today. Haven't heard of this Argentinian guy, I think. Mareso. How do I pronounce it? Sandro. I haven't heard of this guy, but I'm hearing it now. Oh, okay, that would be another one. MVL here. MVL playing Ivan Saric. So it's another interesting You're looking at Maxudlu. And many others. Jeffrey, David Navarro, Jeffrey Jong. I don't know how exactly. Okay. Alexei Shurov, I can see on the list here. Vasily Vanchuk, there you go. Vasily Vanchuk playing the legend. That is Vasily Vanchuk. Chenko presenting, playing for Romania. Denis Lazovic, and many, many, many more. Jordan Van Forest. I mean, there are so many incredibly good chess players producing their best chess. In just a matter of seconds, they will be starting. So many good today. So we're gonna be watching them for a while. Depends on you, my friends, as you join the stream. We'll take it from there. And do a quick puzzle before they do play the first move. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, George. Yeah, you are talking about the yesterday's match. Those of you guys that are fans of boxing, our friend speaks about the game that happened yesterday, the match that took place yesterday in Tyson Fury, that is, and Francis Ngannou. And beautiful exhibition yesterday. Those of you that are into boxing, that was a nice one. Yeah, you can watch all sorts of highlights on the YouTube, and I think that's good. Hey, look at this one, George. Ali Reza, Hans Niemann. That would be something. That would be something indeed. Watching these youngsters playing their best chess. That would be a very good one to keep an eye on. Hans Niemann, Ali Reza. Ali Reza with white. Really want to see what's going to happen. Fabi Esipenko again. All right, let's go, Chino. Let's go for a quick puzzle because they haven't started yet. I think they were supposed to be starting at 1:30, but they haven't yet. So let's go for a quick puzzle. All right, white to play here. Let's see, how do we focus our attacking stuff now? Do we take this with check, that is? That forces them to moving here. Then what else can we play, guys? What else? What other resources have we got? 1, 2, 3 minor piece. Is this just taking this guy? I mean, we could do this, right? I mean, a check is a check. You can, and then they go here. We might, but then the trades, I'm not sure. Although, if you're winning this, I think, you know, bang, forcing. So just let's just look at forcing stuff, my chess friends. Queen G6 check, right? King has to play check again, forcing. I mean, yeah. Queen takes, king takes, and then we're just taking this guy here. 3 minor pieces versus 2. Well, no. Hell no. Yeah. 3 minor pieces versus 2 should be winning for white here. I don't think we need to get into too many complications because if this thing happens over the board or online, I think you should be more than happy. Is there a checkmate I'm not seeing? Is there a checkmate here I'm not seeing? I mean, this. I think it should be it. Yeah. Okay, I mean, just wanted to make sure. Yes, George, indeed. Yes. So sometimes we might be tempted to say, wait a second, maybe there's a checkmate threat because those puzzles are so tricky. They're getting so tricky at some point that you're actually doubting incredibly simple and natural moves. So, but sometimes you just need to grab a piece and, yeah, 3 minors versus 2 minor pieces. That should be winning. On long term, that is. Long term. The game is not over here. It's not over yet, but, you know, If this was bullet, I'm not sure you're gonna win it. You know, I'm not sure you're gonna win it that easily. Probably something to do with this guy's advancement. I don't know in what sequence, when exactly, this kind of stuff. Then of course you need to get this guy as well into action. Things. Anyway. Thanks, Kyra, George, you guys here with us. So we've got 3 of us available now. They haven't started yet, guys. So we can decide as we go on with the stream, people. We will decide together if we're interested to generating some arena or not, and just doing some friendly, relaxing discussions on the best chess that's happening on the planet right now. Really, I mean, probably the best chess on the planet right now. And I think we are, from this point of view, as chess enthusiasts, I think we are privileged as a chess player. As a chess player, indeed, it's probably best time to be alive. As you having contact, because you are in direct connection with the best chess on the planet. Yes, indeed, Kyra. Honestly, I mean, I love all of the game here to see them. Maybe more than others, some of them, but this one in particular, I want to look at because these guys are promising a lot. I mean, Firouzja is a potential world champion in the making, right? So Alireza Firouzja, possibly a world champion. I don't know when, but he is definitely promising enormously. And of course, Hans Niemann, which has improved dramatically. He beaten yesterday, guys. He beaten yesterday. Richard Report, right? Ah, that would be a nice challenge as well. Yeah, we could go for the max ever robot. Absolutely, totally. I would say yes to that one too, George. That would be very instructive too. That would be really instructive. I haven't thought about that, but actually, I think you hit the nail with that properly. That's a nice idea as well. Absolutely. But you know, I would say let's just start first seeing what these guys are doing. Let's see what Alireza and Niemann are doing. We just go get a coffee, get a tea, move, in and about. You don't have to stay glued to the screen, don't get me wrong. Probably I'll just go myself, grab another coffee or something like that. And yeah, we're gonna go with the stream with the live games for a while, and we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there, guys. So in principle, I'm open. All these great ideas, playing robot together, doing an arena, absolutely, totally, guys. Oh, you know something? I haven't even looked at the beginning of the game, the Kyra. I haven't even looked at it because he definitely must have screwed up somewhere. Obviously. I don't know what was the misstep yesterday, but because you named it now, wait a sec. Let me scroll down the page. Let me scroll down the page. Yeah. Let me get to the game. And so where are they? So that means I am on yesterday's page now. Where is report? There you go. So let's see what happened, so to speak. Okay, so Richard was black. Okay, I don't see anything funky. Really. Very solid. Look at this one, by the way. Challenging the bishop. Bishop g6. Queen to b3. Hitting the b7, right? I think that's more than obvious. Queen c7. Bishop d2. Developing. Takes and takes. You do f3 here? Sure. Okay, takes. No, there's no point at this stage. But still. Interesting. Bishop c4. Very interesting. What do? You're dropping this guy here? Yes, you did. Okay, so far so good, Kyra. Let's find out what's the actual blunder. Okay, I think it's okay. This is that kind of tricky stuff where actually you don't even know if it's good or bad. I mean, you would say that's good, right? Because of this kind of idea. And eventually you maybe push the king on e2, leave him there. You know, stuff. Okay, prophylactic. No big problem. Okay, so he decided to castle long here. Castle long. Oh, I remember something. Okay, so up to this point, Kyra, George, there's just nothing bad in particular. I don't see anything bad for none of them. Looks very decent. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense too. Queen b3. Okay, that's already something. Those bishops are really good, but how do you actually... Okay, move the king again. Bishop. Queen. Okay, hitting the rook. Rook. Bishop trying to trade off the dangerous bishop, which refuses, obviously. h3. Rook d8. Okay, probably he wants to move down, to move up that guy. Okay, just trying to... So he's actually willing to be drawing here with black. King a1. Attacking again. Blocking. Bishop goes back. She slowly gets those rooks up. I would say that's a good outpost. Wait a minute. What the heck's going on here? I mean, what? That pawn is coming down the board or up the board, supported by the rooks and stuff. Okay. I think it's still very much playable. Whoa. Okay, that was it. Move number 40, Kyra. That's a little bit of a poisoned pawn. This guy here. So although it's not a direct threat, actually it exposes everything. So that's the misstep. This is the misstep. Maybe he was rushing to reach move number 40, guys. Yes. Look at the clock, Kyra and George. 5 minutes for Richard, 3 minutes 50 for the other guy. I think in their race to get past move number 40, he actually accelerated a bit. He miscalculated, misevaluated a bit, and he jumped on to capture that pawn, which is not a wise stuff to do. Because simply you're making this bishop the happiest bishop in the world, and because of the stuff we know, it did follow. So taking this guy was the beginning of the end for Richard. I would put it exclusively on the time issue. Because up to this point, Richard played very decently. He did very decently. So that's it. So this is it. Kyra, in case you didn't know, I didn't know either, but, you know, looking at it now and with the help of the eval bar, we could say taking this bishop, that's a poison pawn. And things are going south now. And now this guy spent some time here, and he went with attacking the bishop, but actually he aims seriously with the bishop, and practically you've got this kind of ideas. Hitting, forcing them down, and now everything else is history now. So move 39, exactly, Kyra. One single move. So can you imagine the frustration for Richard to have played 40 moves very decently and accurately, and just move number 39 to screw it up massively with that bishop takes a5. So bishop a5 was the blunder of the game for Richard. Painful, frustrating, a lot of energy and time invested here. I mean, it wasn't a blitz or a bullet, you know. The guy fought very hard for like 90 minutes or something, and he just messed up with bishop takes a5. Yeah. The beginning of the end. Excellent outpost for the Black Knight. Excellent outpost. Yeah. He shouldn't have taken. I don't know. Rook here, just challenging here, or maybe this one first and then this. I mean, we can debate. We can debate the position at length. We can debate stuff here on what would have been the best move for black to continue before we summon the stockfish. But obviously, taking here, it's a incredibly bad turn of events for Richard. Yeah, bad, and super poison pawn. Very, very poisonous pawn here. That was it. Move 39. I'm very sorry for Richard. I would have preferred him. I would have favored him to win rather than Hans. That's what it was. So let's go back to FIDE Grand Swiss as we had announced. And let's see if actually the guys started. There you go. Thank you, Kara, for confirming. Hey, and Ali Reza starts with knight f3. Could be anything. Reti. Presumably. Now, he might be transposing into various stuff. G3 could get into a Catalan or something. I mean, sorry, it could be many things. Let's see what's going to happen now. So, very flexible, very, very, very mutable, very transposable. Knight f3, g3, huge freedom. You don't know what's gonna happen. It could be any craziness here, you name it. That is cool. So Alireza White hands with black here. Let's see what he chooses to play. I'm expecting a very exciting game here, ladies and gents. A very, very exciting set of games, actually, because it's not just this one, but this one in particular. I think everyone is thrilled to see what these guys are going to play. But it's not just this game, because you got a full set of super GMs versing today. Best chess on the planet as we speak. So, hi there, Jackson. How's it going, bud? More coffee on the way. I'll go and get another one soon enough, just to keep me going. And yes, 1 hour 40 minutes, and I guess if they reach move number 40, they're gonna get an extra, what, half an hour or 40 minutes? Let's see the format. Just briefly, what's the format here? Home information on the format. Apologies for that. We're gonna go back to the games, guys, in a jiffy. So time control is 1 hour 30 minutes for the 40 moves. Okay, 50 more minutes added after move 40, guys, and 15 after move 60. There you go. So that's the format. So 50 more minutes when they reach move number 40. Cool. That is cool. Absolutely. And so many good players are playing today. Esipenko, Caruana, Nakamura. So this is Fabi with black. Andrei Esipenko with white. Hey, you could do here g3, knight c3. What? Queen c2, bishop g5, bishop f4, you name it. e3. I wouldn't play though e3 blocking this bishop in, so personally probably I would contemplate getting the bishop out first somehow, maybe, and then e3, but you could do g3 as well. You could do g3 as well. And heck knows, I don't know what Esipenko is planning on doing here. They are the super GMs, and they had prepared the games. They have studied the other guy. Probably those guys have a few more other people working for them and keeping them updated, various stuff. So it's a teamwork. It's not just the super GM itself that works. Probably is working with some other guys that do some work for them to helping win. So again, you could expect anything there. d3, knight c3, g3, queen c2, queen c2, bishop g5, you know, all sorts of things. Bishop f4, at least 5-6 candidate moves here. Depends on the stuff they want to play, but even a super GM like Esipenko still hasn't decided what to play. I mean, look, like folks like us, let's say, people, you know, like normal chess players like us, and we do have some ideas, but I mean, we might be thinking about this one, but even a super GM really takes his time. So he knows a lot of stuff in the opening, but he doesn't move it just yet. So he's thinking about what. Probably was he taken aback by the a6 play by Fabi? Is he surprised a little bit by this, or what's going on? Now, if you do knight c3, that might allow also to play e4, and sort of, you know, discourages them. But then you might be having bishop b4, so knight c3 could be bishop b4, and so forth. There is always a move, a counter move to any move that takes place. So let's go now back and watch the others quickly. So they have, okay, so Hans played knight f6, g3, knight f6, bishop g2, of course. Again, this, hell, it might be this, it might be this, it might be c5, c6, e6, maybe. I probably want to play this guy first. This, I'm not sure what it's going to take, but anyway, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, indeed. Okay, that's Hans Niemann. Who else is here? Very many. Very, 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 very many people playing. Very many good players. Fabulous Super GMs today. Who's this? Eric Geisy, White versus Jumabayev, also known as Jet Li. So, let's see what I'm gonna do. Quite a positional one, Rui Lopez. Yeah, it's getting into well-trodden paths here. Well-trodden paths here. Berlin defense. Okay, they're going to be playing a long game. Oopsie. They're going to be playing a long game here, guys. Okay, what else have we got in here? Abdusatorov. Hey, that's unusual, guys. Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit what? Queen's Gambit accepted. Queen's Gambit accepted. Okay. Interesting having the king here. So it hasn't been castled or something? It hasn't castled. Black hasn't castled. Hello there, Anirudh. How's it going, brother? How's it going, mate? Okay? Cool stuff. White to play. How do you get this guy in action? If you do knight e4, the guy's going to go here. So he plays this for what idea? To doing this? This guy's going to go here, and you're going to take. Then you're going to take like this. Then you're going to take again. Then you're going to play the other knight, so to speak. Maybe. Maybe. Knight might be jumping here as well. Still this guy here. So do you play this? Maybe you can. Knight takes, bishop goes there. Try to play this maybe. Bang, boom, bang, boom. Maybe this. Yeah, but then maybe this, and then this, and then this. It is a game in progress here. For this one. Hans Niemann, have they moved Alireza Hans Niemann? Hey, I didn't expect Hans to play e6. Shutting this bishop in. Now that's the bad bishop. Black's bad bishop. There you go. What is it going to do? This and this? That's a good question, Kyra. I'm telling you who's playing the King's Gambit. Jan Nepomniachtchi plays it. I don't know how often, but he does play it. He made a course, an extensive course on Chessable in regards with the King's Gambit. And Nakamura plays it. Well, Nakamura plays it anytime. I don't think he's going to play it against a GM, a serious, strong super GM. But anyway, Nepomniachtchi can play it. Of course, he's an expert at this. So we said that Hans Niemann's bishop on c8 now. After e6, where does this bishop go? I don't know. Probably amongst others, you're looking at c5. Bishop e7, okay. He wants to castle. Very positional. So that's a very, very positional approach here. So now he's going to castle. I mean, look at this game. I mean, you wouldn't say... If you had presented me this game up to this move, I absolutely... The last persons on the planet, the last people on the planet I would expect to play this is Alireza and Hans Niemann. I'm surprised they do this kind of positional old vintage positional type of chess. I thought they are like more tactical, more sharp and tactical. Now it's looking like quite predictable up to a point and controllable for both parties, white and black. I mean, okay, white's turn to play. What do you do here? You could do d4. Then you could do c4, b3. Well, if you do d4, there's no point in doing b3 because you're not going anywhere. But d4 might be an idea. Either this or that. You gotta play the c, the d pawn. Where does this go? What do you play? This and that? Well, not now. You gotta do this and that. But anyway, probably d4. I would opt for d4 here. Maybe. Can you do c4? I guess you can. I guess you can. Streamy guys. Yeah, just take whatever you need. Yeah. So, could be a few ideas here. Anyway, quite positional for Alireza and Hans. You wouldn't have expected these guys doing it in this fashion. Okay. Right, what other games are taking place? Very many. Anish Giri, let's have a quick look at Anish Giri here. Round number 5, ladies and gents. Round number 5. Anish Giri versus Anton Korobov. And black's the play here. Yeah, I would say for the time being, Kyra is very positional. Very, very positional. The game that Alireza and Hans Niemann play. Really, I'm a bit surprised. I'm a bit surprised. So knight e3, the last move Anish played. I guess he also plans to push the a5, so black knight can't make a trade here. But they could go here. Oops, but they could go this. This, and if you take, well, we're gonna make an almighty draw if we keep drawing stuff here. So I don't know, they want to draw or not. If we trade pieces, yeah. And also this knight here stifles, it blocks the pawn on e2. Where do you move the pawn on? When are you going to move it? Because this guy wants to come out too, and if that guy doesn't move, the bishop doesn't move, you can't castle. So that might be an idea. Yeah, of course, rook, yeah, not long castling. Long castling, it could be lethal, deadly for black here. I don't think Korobov gonna play long castle. So he might be doing queen c7, George, and rook d8. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And including maybe e5 for the bishop. Yes. Yes. And castle short, by the way, for black here. For Anton Korobov, castle short. As for Anish Giri, of course you want to do castle short for both colors. They all need a couple of tempi to do that, though. They need a couple of tempos. What else, ladies and gents? Okay, back to Niemann and Alireza. D3. Huh. I mean, D3. D3, played by Alireza. He wants to do C4, I guess. Heck knows, we don't know. I mean, D3, he could do B3, C4. I mean, the normal stuff would be D3, you plan, if you want to go C4, rook E and then E, rook E1 and E4. You could do this. I'm not sure. But if you do this after H6, if you take and bishop takes, that's looking bad. Unless you want to do C3. Already dynamic ideas are evolving here. So chess is very dynamic. The position, I think, for both white and black, although positional, it could evolve. It could evolve into all sorts of things. Bishop d6 and then e5. So, can you imagine, George? Hans Niemann played bishop e7 and now you're saying bishop d6 for black to waste another tempo and then e5. In principle, I'd say it does make sense. But he castled, by the way. First, he did castle. Both of them castled. And again, very positional. Very positional stuff here. Bishop g5, bishop f4, c4. Which one is it? This and that? Rook e1. We did say rook e1. I did say rook f to e1 because this. But then again, it looks like he wants to draw stuff here. He wants to trade off things or what? c3, of course. c3, yeah. You could do c3. Of course you could. I think if you play knight c3, you can't go anywhere. So, yeah, c3, c4. e4 now, because if you got d3 and if you got rook e1, you could definitely push this one. Takes. Yes or no? Not now. You still need to do something. Because if you push and then take and you take, it could be queen takes queen, then you gotta take, and then you're dropping this pawn. So I think we gotta be careful. Does he want to do this one first? Maybe. I mean, that would be a nice outpost, a provisional temporary outpost. It could a preparation. Well, you would expect these guys at 26, 2700 to have a massive preparation. Massive preparation. But also, if you want to win, you got to go a little bit off the books. To some extent, to any extent, you may want to go off the books. Yeah. Could be. Okay, so that is Hans Niemann and Ali Reza. What's going on with this guy here? Fabian Espenko. Fabian Espenko here. 00C6. Gambit declined. Rook A to C1 in order to play Queen to B1. I think Botvinnik had this kind of positional setup. I think this is an old idea. Well, nevertheless good. You get a rook from A to C. You get a bishop to B1. And queen to C2. And especially if black castle short here. Look, and so if... Whose turn is it now? White's turn, though. White's turn. So rook A to C1, I think it's one of those eternal ideas. You want to play E4 now? Okay, yes you can. Yeah, I guess you can play E4. Yeah, I think it's good. Not bad at all. Well, very much of an attacking move E4. You're threatening a fork, so that's a serious move. And black has to react to this. E4 they take. And you take, and then guess what? Bishop E7. You want to do this? Okay. So if I want to avoid the trade, probably I would think about rook a c1. Let's get the forces in action. Rook f e1 and e4. I don't know. You want to do it in this order or differently? But yeah, I would be inclined for rook a c1. Makes a lot of sense. E4 again, not a bad one. Bang, boom, bishop e7. You want to go further trading? You can. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. If you want to trade off pawn and two minor pieces, sure. Yes, you can. I guess you might be able to. Yeah, I would move one of the two rooks. Very likely rook a to c1. I would actually do. I would. Okay. Let's see what other guys did here. So we looked at those ones. Okay, who else have we got here? So many players. No, e4 is absolutely decent, George. I think it's a very decent move. I just don't want to trade stuff. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't feel. Yeah, a5 exactly as I said, guys. That was that idea. In the minute he played knight e3, he actually wanted to refuse black's chance to trade off stuff. So I did say about a5. So that makes black playing either d5, 7, or you go c8. Which one's gonna? One, two, three. You got no other options. If you go d5, probably white's going to take a white's going to be a bit happy because potentially you want to castle short. So you can't castle because knight is here because pawn can't move. So if this happens, you're going to take. They're going to take, I don't know, go e3 then. If they take, you take. If they don't, so fine. Play bishop d3. Gotta play some e6. Yeah, developing stage of the game. A ton of time available for everybody here. It's like 1 hour 28 minutes. 1 hour. It's a lot of time for them to think. So now Anton Karabov has to decide if he wants to go tradings or keeps it very close. Knight bd7. Now I'm not sure because you might be tempted to push the pawn. Actually, this. I don't know. Six. Take I. Or it's to be debated. There are nuances. There are some. There you go. Knight bd7. Knight bd7. Now what do you do with white? Where do you go, this guy? So let's say you want a castle. Probably you got to go back. I think that's the right time. This is the right moment for them to play knight c4. So you make space for the e2 pawn to go e3. And then you're going to play bishop d3 and castle, right? But I think knight c4 would be a good idea, especially because you're stopping this from happening. So you got to do this because if you don't and play, okay, let's give a random example. G3, just saying. Black is encouraged to play e5. You take and they take. So for to stopping this from happening, you may want to play knight c4. So limits black to only play e6, which is okay. I don't think that's a big problem. So knight c4, just e6. If that's a plan. If that's a plan, what did I do? Oh, I pressed. Okay, hold on a sec. We're gonna go back, guys. No problem. Let's go back to Hans Niemann, Ali Reza, and Hans Niemann. What did happen here? What was last time? Rook fe1 makes sense. Knight c6. Okay, you wanna go e4? You could go e4. Takes. And no, you cannot. Apologies, you can't. Bang, bang, boom. Takes. Rook takes. Knight takes. You may not want to do this just yet. You could do c3. Can you do c4? Maybe you can. But if you want to simplify trade-off pieces, yeah. You want to do bishop g5 or d4. Huh. Okay, change your plan. d4. Change your plan. Okay, that the situation had changed. d4. c3. 5 for bishop f4. Queen c2. Okay. c3. Knight bd2. Closed. Very closed. So this is closed. That's a closed game. That is a closed game. So guys, I've noticed something. I don't know if you guys came via LinkedIn, I might not be able to see the messages. Let me actually check on my mobile. There's something funky with the LinkedIn chat. It does not show up on my end. So I don't know if I got any friends via LinkedIn. But definitely, guys, I can read the messages on YouTube and Facebook for sure, and including kick.com. Oh, I think I got a message from one of our one of our friends on LinkedIn. So just wanted to say to Shama, dear, thank you very much for joining, brother. I can't read the messages on LinkedIn. It used to be okay at some point. I don't know why it's been disconnected, the chat from LinkedIn. I don't know. So I can read the messages on YouTube and Facebook if you type it in, or kick.com, but I don't know what's going on LinkedIn. I can't read the message on LinkedIn. I mean, it doesn't display the messages on LinkedIn. So it's my end or what is going on. Anyways. Anyway. So Hans didn't play nothing. Situation had changed here. D4. What do you do, by the way, with the bishop on c8? I'm just curious, my chess friends. What do you do with the bishop on c8? How do you play with this guy? You play bishop d6 and push? I mean, it's a little bit painful. You do b6 for what? For this? Just saying. What do you do with that bishop? How do you move? It feels, you know what it feels like? Black is a little bit cramped here. Where do you get your pieces? Well, I know it's just move number 7. Okay, so let's just set things straight. It's just move number 7. These boys, these youngsters, chose to play something very positional here and slightly uneventful. There's no weakness anywhere. There's no weakness. There's nothing incredibly surprising. No, it's not. So they got to move pieces around. Hans needs to move the pieces around. How do you move them? What do you move here? Really? Apart from bishop d6, what else can you do? h6? Just to prevent and try and stop the so-called pin? Anirudh, I think people should be free to express their ideas and stuff. I don't know what the latest statements. I'm not reading everybody's latest statements, but he's quite a. I mean, if people are like very, very much in the public view, in the limelight, and if they got something meaningful to express, I think they should. I think they should. Bianchetto, Kyra, yes. So I don't think, yeah. I'm not on the opinion that the chess players should be mute, or let's say just restricting themselves only to the chess area. I think people should tend to become universal. I mean, it's important to reflect many aspects. So I think people should be expressing themselves, absolutely, on many areas if they can. Totally. Yeah. So if you say something meaningful, important, that enlightens the better the global understanding, I think you should say it. If you got a public platform or a lot of exposure, probably you should. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. If he was confronted, I don't know about that. He was. Was he? Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, he gets publicity. He gets a lot of publicity. And at this stage, publicity turns into cash, into money, into contracts. You know, people are paying because very many folks are watching your stuff, and you know, so if you're getting incredibly public and well known, as Hans is currently, so the scandals are beneficial, whatever, however you choose to look at them. You know, from this point of view, Anirudh. So every scandal for Hans Niemann is it could be money, cash, exposure, publicity. So you know that works in his favor. Sponsored would like to pay stuff for him to, you know, expose their products and stuff, present the products. Okay. So back now to chess. Knight at e4. Very strong, I believe. Exactly, Anirudh. That's exactly what I meant. No publicity is bad publicity. Exactly. Spot on, brother. Exactly. So exactly as I said, every single scandal from a point of view depends on the scandal. Every single scandal can be turned into practical, into money, contracts, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So back to chess now. Knight at e4. Really? Then maybe. Uh huh. Yep, George. I think that's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Probably c3, queen c2, knight d2, but exactly as you said, f5 just closes everything. Closes everything. Yeah, I think it's a nice one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would agree with you, George, on this one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Makes sense. Because, George, Kyra, Anirudh, probably you noticed black is terribly cramped here. You don't have too many options. Where do you get your guys? Where do you get your rooks? Sorry, where do you get your pieces? So 95 might be enough there. 5 potentially. In principle, George, you might, at some point down the road, you might be making a rook lift. Not now, though. Hey, look at this one, George. A5 being played by Hans Niemann. A5. Huh. A5. What do you want to do? B6 and bishop B7 or bishop A6? Yeah, that could be another thought. But now look at Hans. He went for A5. Probably followed by B6 in principle and bishop B7. I think Kyra said this idea. Kyra, you did say this about the fianchetto. So that could be another thought. That could be another idea. Absolutely. Totally. I don't know. C3? What do you want to play here? C3? Queen C2? What else? Knight B2? Oh, you're going to play the bishop first? F4, G5? And knight H6, what do? You drop it on D2? Oops, you drop it on D2. Very difficult to say. Take space. The A5 move does take space on the queen side. So Hans now is expanding on the queen side. You could. Knight C3, yeah, I guess you could. And if knight E5, you might even take. I'm not sure then. Nah, this guy's going to be falling. So knight C3, but then knight E4, I think can be played regardless. Maybe. Maybe, Anirudh. Yeah, maybe. Absolutely. Okay. So we watched that one. Let me see what the rest of the guys. Well, not the rest of them because there's so many games taking place right now. What other games have we watched? Hey, this one with Abdusatorov tends to go to the end now. They're about to be trading off everything. I mean, look at this game. This is move number 22, guys. Those guys are playing great. Are playing fast. Sorry, those guys have traded everything. That's what I wanted to say. 2-4-6, 2-4-6. All pieces came off the board. What is going on here? Knight C3, knight A4, knight takes D, takes knight A5. We're going to go back to that idea, Anirudh. B5. What is going on here? Pieces came off. This guy's going to draw. They want to draw, people. Abdustorov from Uzbekistan versus Melkamian representing Armenia. This guy's want to draw. Just 2 rooks here. I mean, probably black might try attempt this kind of thing, but it doesn't work because pawn takes and you can't take because it's pinned. And if you take, white's going to take, and then he wants to get a rook here, hitting you twice here, then you can play this. Difficult to say. Very difficult to say. It looks like they traded a lot. They're just trading a lot here. By the looks of it. Okay. So Abdusatorov and the other guy, they want to trade. What's going on with Fabi Caruana here and Esipenko? Queen's Gambit, what they play? Queen's Gambit decline, Janovsky variation. Okay, Fabi's turn with black. Is he going to castle kingside? He can. In the previous position, George, if you're referring to Abdusatorov, yes, I think black was doing better. Not Abdusatorov, the guy he played against. Yes. Yes, I think that white is, from a psychological positional point of view, I think he's got a bit the upper hand. Yes, I would be inclined to say the same. Now, Fabi here, he could castle, I guess. He could do queen here. Just in any case, he could do queen c7. I think normally you want to get queen c7, right? or b6. And you could do queen c7, queen b6. What else? Queen 7, queen b6, because in principle you want to get off the pin. Hey, he castled. We did say that. I did say that because it's a normal move, natural move, and they did castle. So castle's now for black. Again, rook ac1, bishop b1, queen d3 or queen c2. And black has to keep this guy all the time. Checkmate is coming on h7. c1 and this and this. And potentially then this. I think that's the classical plan here, I guess, for white to play in this position. Yeah, h6 could be, of course. But, you know something? I'm not fully convinced. h6, I'm going to play bishop h4. I'm not convinced. I'm not sure black wants to push again. It's seriously kind of like weakening the king side. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So h6 makes sense. But you really want to play this? Bishop h4. You could do queen e2, but first thing first, George. First I want to play rook a to c1. Then I want to play bishop to b1. And then I want to play queen to c2 or queen to d3. I just want to keep it simple. I really want to keep it simple. If I can. Rook ac1 has to be played regardless. It's a semi-open file. You want to get your rooks on semi-open file, including rook fe1, just supporting any e4 if you want to do this at some point. We might expect a pin here, though. So, can I say maybe Esipenko now thinks about playing h3? Or is too risky? I don't know. h6, then what do? You drop it here. Then g5, if you play this, they're going to take and you're going to have this position. Are you happy? And then e3 going to be a weakness. It could be. Look, these moves are good, so I'm going to highlight the moves that I think are candidate very decent moves. Rook ac1, very good move. Very good move always. This is the perennial approach. Rook ac1, very good move. Rook fe, very decent move. h3, slightly defensive, excessively defensive maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe quite risky. I'm not sure about h3. So, rook ac, rook fe. What else? Queen e2, sure. It could be one of these three. But nevertheless, George, you very well spotted. Did you notice that actually they do take their time? Move number 10, mind you. Move number 10. They are capable to play fast chess if they want to, but it don't. He doesn't. He takes his time, exactly as you said. So these are super grandmasters that do not rush it. So that's a lesson for all of us. If you're playing, let's say, longer time control, it's a lesson for all of us. So the best people on the planet move number 10, and boy, they don't rush it. I mean, it's a very positional Queen's Gambit here, very positional. And he does think about what to play. He's not rushing it. We're going to see if the moves we highlighted had been played. We are going to have a confirmation for this. Sure. So, what does these boys do? Firouzja, no, after a5, Firouzja didn't move a damn thing. He didn't do nothing. Let's go with this guys now. Nakamura, white. Alexei Sorana, black. Bishop f4, I think we did say that the bishop can go here. Obviously, you want to develop all your stuff. Looking here. Currently defended, but they can play c5, right? Can they? Or you want to do something else first? Probably, George, you're referring to the previous position. Yes. Yeah, it could. Yeah, no, absolutely fine. Don't get me wrong. H6 is always a good stuff, especially when there is some bishop on g5, or you want to prevent something to come in on g5. So h6 is good anyway. But here for black, what do you play? Hey, you could do either c5, but you could do knight f6, right? Knight d7 to f6. I think that might be another good move. Just having a replacement for this guy in any case. f6, c5. What else do you want to play? Bishop e6? Not sure. Maybe. Maybe. So I'm just highlighting the stuff, and then when we're coming back, apparently the cookies on chess.com saved the arrows, so we can actually go back and verify if our arrows conform with this guy's decisions. Yep. Okay. Hey, knight c3. Who is that? Anirudh. I think Anirudh said something about knight c3. Yeah. I said it's possible. Knight c3. It's a developing move. And that might be an idea. You're talking okay, g5. You're talking about the Fabi Caruana's game? Just try to approach it. You talk about the Fabi Oh, the previous. Hold on a sec. Let's go back to the previous. Here, I think they want to do this kind of stuff. Let's go to the previous one. You're talking about this one. This one? Really? Anyway, he played knight f3 to d2. I guess in the preparation for e4. Or maybe more. The other one, okay. I think I know the one you're referring to. Wait a minute. You're talking about Sarana, this one? You're talking about this one? Alexei Sarana playing g5? Bishop f4. We did say bishop f4. g5 now. I think I'm going to play bishop back to c. What's going on, actually? I don't think g5 is really the stuff you want to do with black here now. I think bishop can drop back on c1, I guess. f5 makes sense. I would say f5 and then knight f6. But g5? Okay, if you really want to do a pawn storm, I guess you could. Huh. Yes, you could. But this one feels a bit more natural, and he did play it. Knight b7 to knight d7 to f6. Yeah, I would like having that. That's a bit more natural. That one is very wild. Very, very, very wild. I'm not sure. I wouldn't have played g5 though with black here. Maybe f5, maybe, but this one definitely worth looking at. And he did play it in the end. He did do it in the end. I don't think he wants to lose. I'm not sure it's so huge advantage though after playing g5. You practically you don't want to lose. If you can win, awesome. But anyway, knight c3. Hans hasn't played anything just yet. He could do b6 and bishop e6. What else can he do? There's no point doing that because a3 and you're gonna go back. So there's absolutely no point to do this. You're wasting a tempo. No point whatsoever. The question remains, what is Hans going to do with the bishop on c8, guys? Really, what do you do with the bishop on c8? Where do you get it? Where do you move that bishop? When? How? Again, b6, bishop a6 seems to be some idea. Even a4, you say? a4, a4. Yeah, probably. I'm going to play a3, just leave it there. Hey, knight e4. Who was that? Anirudh or Kyra that say knight e4? I think one of you said. One of you guys said knight e4. I don't know which one. A4. I would play A3. So if black were to push A4, I would do A3. Did you? Ah, okay, George. Right. So knight A4. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Knight A4. Of course makes sense. We can't do knight here because this guy is dropping, so I'm not sure. And I don't particularly want to take because they take. And where do I go? Can we do similarly with white? Can we play knight e5 or bishop f4 first? Bishop f4. f6 then e5. f6 then. Maybe. I'm not sure. If you do f6 and e5, you are having maybe this kind of attack in the future. I'm not sure what to say. It just looks like unnecessarily pushing those pawns and maybe weakening the black king. So I'm not particularly keen on doing that. Anyway, it is Ali Reza's turn. If you capture the knight and pawn were to take, where do you get this guy? George. Knight takes c4, d5 takes c4. Where do you get the knight? Where would you get it? So if you take and they capture, how do you save your knight on f3? By playing it where? What do you want? d2. Okay, are you sure? d2. Okay, and if the guy takes here, gonna take the pawn. Yeah, we need to calculate this. So knight takes, pawn takes, knight plays d2, knight takes d4. Messages are delayed. I could potentially restart the restream chat now. Or I mean, close it off and put it on again. Messages are delayed. I've no idea. I thought they are actually spontaneous. I thought they are spontaneous. But anyway. Anyway. Hey, what's going on here? I could close the restream chat, open up again and see if it works. I could do that without stopping the stream. So guys, I'm going to try and close the chat, open up again. Apologies for any delay now, but let's see if the chat actually gets any better. So I'm going to close the chat. Now I'm going to open up again. Let's see if it's getting any better. All right. Okay. I've restarted the restream chat now. I hope now messages are a bit more prompt appearing on our screen. Hopefully. Messages are getting now better. Prompt. Hope. So yeah, I think I've restarted the chat now. Let's see if it's any modification in terms of spontaneity. I mean promptitude, so to speak. Let me check. Yeah, I mean I see you 334 on my end. You've texted now. I think you are in the best capacity now to tell me if you can read your message straight away. Yeah, I think it should be okay. Yeah. So probably just needed a bit of a restart here. So knight b5 had been played by white, but may I ask you what the heck is... Oh, I've seen it. Ali Reza. Knight b5 because bishop f4. That is why. Yeah, that's so George, apart from this, the only thing I could do is just stop the stream, start again, but probably it's not gonna happen. Probably we're not gonna do this. Yeah, I don't know what's this. I mean, I'm multi-streaming now. And what I'm doing is just I'm using the Restream platform to send the message to 4 platforms simultaneously. So I don't know if it's Restream or OBS. It could be anything. So then again, knight on b5 and bishop f4 seems to be the plan, right? And then black has to do something like urgent like bishop d6, right? They got to do bishop d6, and then I'm going to take with the knight, and they're going to take with the pawn. And I think it's good-ish, I guess. The engine say, no, it's absolutely fine, says the engine. There's not a problem. Everything's fine, says Stockfish 16. Stockfish says everything's fine. Absolutely. He did exploit black's last choice, a5. So there is no a6 happening. That white knight on b5 cannot be challenged by any pawn. So, yeah, I guess. He tries to do something improving and things. Yeah, you can't attack the white knight. You don't have anything to attack the knight with. So, why not? This is a nice one, Alireza versus Firouzja. Alireza versus Hans. That's a nice one. Okay, let's see what Hans going to do here. Actually, look at the clock here. You can see that Alireza is faster. He made faster decisions. And Hans is, G5. That would be a span in the works. G5. That would be a disruptive stuff here. You want to play G5 now? G5 now? I guess you can, but then I want to do like maybe this. I don't think G5 is what black should do here. Maybe I could do this. I'm not sure. This guy takes, then this guy takes, then C6. I am not sure. I don't know what to say. I'm a little bit reluctant to push G5 in these positions. It feels like I'm weakening my king side. I'm slightly reluctant to do this. I'm not a great fan. I'm not a huge fan of pushing these pawns down the board. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm streaming, guys. Right, so okay, we're gonna see about this. So let's look at another one. What is Neiman gonna do? I don't know. Can you do 6? Can you do this kind of craziness? George, I think the idea with G5 might be interesting if you go F6, G5 then. I mean, completely discouraging any bishop F4. Is that playable? Is that even considerable? Can you even do that? I mean, it could be something, but it's really, really risky stuff here. I mean, these guys are capable of any craziness, and they have enormous capacity for deep calculations. You could be e5 in the idea that actually you hope to be doing something with that bishop on c8 after all, because that bishop on c8 is like practically doesn't exist. Yeah, so to speak. Although, well, they both want to win, so yeah, f5 is very solid. Kyra, thank you for your idea. f5 is very solid here. You played a4, dudes. I mean, yeah. Okay, now I think that forces, kind of. It's not forcing. It makes white to do a3. You gotta stop this guy. You can't allow them coming back like this, I guess. So you have to do a3. You have to do a3, right? Or you do something else here. Do this. Hey, what about bishop f4 straight away? Let's just keep it nice and simple. Let's just keep it nice and simple. What about bishop f4? Let's just cut the crap. Let's just play bishop f4 here. What about this? How do you deal with that? No, that's very unorthodox. This is very unusual. But bishop d6 feels like you're giving up a nice bishop here, isn't it? Bishop f4, then bishop d6 must be played, then white takes, then you have to take with the pawn or with the knight, that is. Okay. Maybe, yes, maybe, no. If you want to trade off the knight on b5 for the bishop on e7, you could do bishop f4 straight away. So if you want to make sure that this black bishop disappears, a4 is just something to disrupt white's normal way to develop. I think it's more like psychological. I don't know what it does. Let's think a bit. Can you do this and then this? Maybe. Is he planning knight a5, knight c4? Bishop d7? You tell me. You tell me. Yeah, it could be this and that. Might that be the case, guys, you reckon? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what's his what the plan is here for Hans. I think I would go bishop f4 now. I would just go bishop f4. I want to develop my pieces. I want to attack c7. I'm going to force black to do this. And I will take. And then they're going to take with the knight. And then I'm going to play a3. And that's it. I mean, that's what I say. Now, of course, there could be some details that those guys have identified them already. Let's ask the engine actually what white should be playing here. Wait a minute. Hey, I did say bishop f4. I mean, you know, just keep it nice and simple. Bishop f4 makes sense. Bishop f4, bishop d7, if you believe that. Bishop f4, bishop d7. Because if you take on c7, rook's gonna move, attacking your knight, and you might be in trouble. So bishop f4, exactly as I said many times looking at this position that I would play, that's exactly the first move of the engine, is bishop f4. So I wasn't wrong with the main idea, but apparently bishop d6 is not the only one to reply with here, guys. So after bishop f4, black can play bishop d7. That means if you take on c7, threatening the rook, they might do rook c8. Then you go back, and then heck, I don't know. What's the plan? What's the thing? Then you're going to do bishop b4? With the rook here attacking on c2 and the knight. Oh, that is why the engine said you shouldn't take on c7, right? Let me cover up the lines again. Guys, have you seen this subtlety? Bishop f4, bishop d7, apparently the best defense, not bishop d6. And if you take rook c8, there you go. There you go. And if you go back, you might have knight b4, attacking on c2 massively. Massive attack. Massive attack. I mean, this is serious subtleties here taking place right before our very own eyes. This is something. But nevertheless, bishop f4 said the engine, then bishop d7, and you got to do something else. I've forgotten what the engine said we should be playing with white. Probably developing something somewhere. I don't know. Let's ask again. What was the idea? The idea was bishop f4, as we said. Bishop f4, indeed. Bishop d7, knight d2. To challenge this guy and threatening to winning a pawn here. Okay, makes sense now. And that's the reason why white shouldn't take on c7. Because probably the lines that we have explained with the arrows on the screen right now, my friends. George and Kyra. And Anirudh, if you're still around here, but believe it or not, Esipenko Andrei Fabi Caruana, after knight d2, George and Kyra, Fabi hasn't moved. I did say that White's e4 idea makes sense and it's strong, but Fabi didn't move nothing. Move number 11, George. Move number 11. He didn't move nothing here. Can you believe that? H6 after like what? 15 minutes? I mean, I've been talking for like 10, 15 minutes with Hans Niemann's position Ali Reza. And now he just played H6 now. And you and me, George, we were discussing actually the H6 move as a sort of a breaking the pin attempt. It doesn't mean now White's going to take on F6, right? I mean, it's normal here to play Bishop H4. You don't do the trade. You don't help being black here. So you're gonna do Bishop H4. But then I said that I'm really skeptical to play G5 if I'm black here. No, you don't do G5. You're gonna play Bishop H4, but black's not gonna push G5. You're gonna do something else. That is Queen C7 or Queen B6. I think that's probably the best way to play. So you're no longer in a pin. And H6, just to, prevent any threats to be taking your pawn. So this guy is sort of free to do whatever they want. So again, H6, not for playing G5. H6 is just to hit this guy a little bit, create a little bit of space for the king, but you can't say you're going to use this one as long as you got this diagonal open for the bishop and queen. And I think black queen C7, B6. I guess something like this. Makes sense. So again, bishop H4 and some queen C7, queen B6 ideas. And E4 remains, of course, playable. White has to save the bishop, though. White has to save the bishop. So now you got to do something with that bishop. And very 99.99, White is going to play bishop H4. Yes, George, not immediate. Not right now. But they will. But not right now. You said it. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. So, that one goes slowly. Serrano, Alexei Nakamura. That one also goes slowly. Many superb games happening right now. Okay, which one did we say? Try to move. I mean, if we got like 3-4 games under scrutiny, I think it's probably enough. There's so many good games. I mean, you can't watch them all. It's impossible. There are so many good games here. Okay, I'm going to just go up the board now. So we've got 3 games under attention, under scrutiny. Let's get a 4th one. And then we're going to, go back and forth, back and forth. Nakamura Serrano. Okay, let's look at this one. Hikaru to play here. Queen's Gambit declined. Catalan opening, of course. Hikaru's to play here. Very balanced. What is White supposed to do? What do you do? Knight B5? Is Knight B5 good? Or it's a blunder? I don't think it's good. A6. A6, where do you go? Gonna go back. I'm not sure about Knight B5. Knight E5? Black is not that passive here. I think C5 was a very good move played by Alexei Serrano. I don't think he's very passive, though, here. I don't think he's passive, Black. It's Naka's turn, by the way. It's Hikaru's turn to play. You could expect Black to do this kind of stuff at some point. I think it's absolutely fine for Black, really. Maybe you're talking about Black in another game being passive, like the previous game or something. Because this one here with Alexei Serrano and Nakamura, Alexei Serrano with Black, I don't think Black is that passive, though. I don't think it's that passive. It's not very passive. It's good, actually. I think it's good. Well, what is Hikaru supposed to be playing here? Definitely not taking on c5. You don't take on c5. Can you play knight e5, though? That looks good. That, I think it looks good, this one. Knight e5 is good. Definitely good. It might be. Let me tell you something about queen c2, George. I'm afraid a little bit. I'm concerned about rook a to c8. So you could do queen c2, but then rook a c8. So I don't know. You're gonna spend another tempo playing queen b1, really? I wouldn't do queen c2. I would do probably knight e5 here. It's playable, but I don't like it. What I like, I think it's knight e5. But then again, knight e5, they take. You take. Bishop c5. And you're gonna have to go back. Tough one. I mean, a tough one. And believe it or not, Nakamura, who's one of the best on the planet, doesn't move that quickly. So probably he's got an enormous preparation. He's got huge preparation. But he didn't move at his stage. Move number 13. You know? It's not like move 20 and you need to be creative or something. This is just move number 13. So probably what? He's trying to remember the stuff that it's supposed to be played in this position here. He didn't move anything. Didn't move anything. Let's find out the best attitude here. E3, D takes C5 are the best moves for white to play. E3, D takes. Anything else is bad. E3, D takes C. From the Stockfish itself. Let's cover up the lines now. Reinforcing this guy. Probably that way it doesn't work because takes, and you're just simply exposing the queen immensely and creating for black attacking power on f2 and stuff. It just doesn't look good. So yeah, e3, dc. e3 probably very solid. Yeah, queen c2 probably runs into some rook ac, and that's questionable perhaps. So let's go back to our youngsters here. And Ali Reza, after a4, didn't move a damn thing. So he played now, bishop f4, which I did say I would play like 10 minutes ago. He played bishop f4 after some probably comprehensive calculations. He did play bishop f4. I mean, this is the move that makes a lot of sense. I did say that. And it's a direct move. So if we can play direct attacking moves, threatening stuff, we should go for that. We should go for that. So he did play bishop f4. Looking at this and this. The best defense, if you remember, George and Kyra, Anirudh, if you guys there, if you remember, I think the engine had suggested bishop d7 being played here, to which you mustn't take on c7. Hey, this is the stuff that Hans Niemann screwed up a bit. He didn't see the bishop d7 defense. George, can you believe that? Hans didn't see the bishop d7 as the best defense. Which I have to say I didn't see it either. But I'm not Stockfish. Neither is Niemann. So he played the human bishop d6. Now, you can assume knight is going to take d6. And then black knight on e4. Going to go take. He's not going to play with double pawns on the d file. So he played it instantly, bishop d6. He didn't give any thought to this, which is by far the best. Now, I think, okay, maybe he didn't see it or something. Anyway, Ali Reza probably has to take. Probably Ali Reza has to take. And now he's going to take with the knight. And if bishop takes, then you take with the queen. You don't have double pawns. It's too much of a weakness to having double pawns on the d file. So I think we can conclude after knight takes, and they will be playing from there. Nice one. Very nice one. Still live here, right? Let me check. I don't see why we shouldn't be. Just checking. Bangs. Stuff. Excellent. Oh, you really investigating the idea with double pawns on E? On D? Very interesting. Really? So do you actually, George, imply after knight d6 that black should take with C? Or do you take with knight and after bishop takes, you take with C? Is this what you're suggesting? Because it's really challenging, it's surprising. It's really. Huh. I mean, for me, it would be knight takes, and then knight, the black knight should take back. And even if the bishop takes, the queen should take. Never take with the C in this position. I don't see what's the power. Oh, I'm not sure. Because after a move like C3, queen is going to be hitting your guy here. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not very confident to having double pawns for black on the D file. I'm just not very comfortable to having that. Okay, maybe. The knight on e4 is strong as long as we don't do this kind of stuff. And then I'm not sure how strong that is. I see your point. I see. Interesting. Maybe it's worth investigating. Maybe it's worth investigating. Yes. Perhaps. Perhaps. Nevertheless, these guys really take their time. So probably you guys notice they just simply don't rush it. They're not rushing it. They just stay and calculate as much as they can. They haven't moved a damn thing. I mean, bishop f4 had been played after like 10 minutes. I did signal bishop f4, and I did say bishop d6. But what I did say without the engine's help was bishop knight takes and black knight takes. And I'm still kind of on the opinion if Ali Reza takes on d6, Hans is going to take with the queen. That's my opinion. That's what I think makes most sense and it's safer. Now, you know, well, you kind of have to. Oopsie. You kind of. What did he do? He didn't. You kind of have to take this guy because if he takes, you're going to end up badly here. So you cannot not take. You can't not to take, George. I think you're kind of supposed to take. $95 now? I don't think so. 95 now. I'm not sure. 95 now. It's interesting. I'm not sure what to say about 95. Feels a bit a bit hazardous, a bit unnecessary. Maybe. Maybe. I think I still look at taking that guy off the board. Anyway, we'll return to this game. We will come back to watching this, guys. So Nakamura didn't move nothing. Hikaru didn't move nothing. Whilst I was talking to you about White's best answers, Hikaru was a speed demon He didn't rush into playing anything. He's still thinking. So another, pointer, another reminder for us to really, in longer time control, to take our time before we actually moving. So Esipenko now. Ooh, hey, George, do you know we said something about G5 ideas? I wouldn't have played here, but he did play. Fabi did play G5. Look at this. And takes. And boy, I would have taken with H, I think. I would have taken with H. You know why? It feels like the pawn on E3 is a little bit shaky. But this guy's really, I don't know what to say. This guy's really. What's with this pawn? Is he gonna play E4 now? Look, if you don't play E4 now, I don't see what other move. I mean, yeah, I'm not a great fan of G5 now. It just feels strange here. I mean, we need to dismantle that pawn structure somehow. Can we do H4? George, honestly, what do you think about H4? I know it's crazy to do this, following especially knight to G4, hitting at the guy, but maybe you could just play this. What do you think about H4? I mean, those guys had to disappear, and then we try and see if we can get a queen into more active position on the king side. Is it too risky, H4? Everything gets open. Everything gets open. But the rook on F is open, so that's quite strong. You could also have maybe this kind of stuff. The idea would be that I'm able to get a rook at some point. The idea with H4 would be I want to make a rook lift. I want maybe to play bishop to F5, getting this guy off. Then maybe some knight F3. Well, there is a bunch of moves, but I think it's the stuff you may want to do. You want to dismantle those guys, and you want to get rid of this guy so you can get a queen on the white squares. Together with the bishop might be deadly. Bishop F5 is good. Bishop F5, it's a good idea. Bishop F5 is a good idea, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why I'm slightly attracted to doing like H4 or something. I'm attracted to that idea with H4. I might be wrong though, but I'm just attracted by that idea. It has some virtues, I think. E4? Not sure. Maybe. Wait a minute. What else? It's a good one. That might be playable. Yeah. Probably. I'm not sure. I'm all for sacrificing pieces, but I need to see the follow-up. I need to see how am I winning, actually. That's a very natural, very logical move, knight f3. I don't think there's anything bad. And that would be maybe a precursor for h4. So knight f3, especially if you are planning h4 then. So there might be something. Knight f3 for h4. And if they take, you take maybe with the knight. Then some bishop f5 ideas. It could be, it could be, it could be. Yes, yep, could be. So knight f3 is a very nice one. And I think the reason he played this, amongst others, was to maybe helping e4. But then again, maybe too slow. Maybe too slow. I don't know. Might be a bit too slow. The engine says it's just a bit advantageous for white. Just a bit. Not easy to break through. Black has still amassed a couple of minor pieces over there, so it's not that easy to actually getting on the king side for black. It's there is a lot of resources for black to defend. There is enough resources here. I guess it's something to do with undermining those pawns. Wait a sec. The engine says... Wait a minute. The engine is... Wait, they moved something, dudes. King g7 he moved. Okay. So the idea is now h3 or queen c2. Oh, says the engine. h3. It's more like a preparation. Queen c2. Okay, to connect the rooks and things. Okay, maybe. Maybe. h3, queen c2. The engine says h3 to stopping any minor piece to come over to g4. And probably mainly George h3 would stop any knight to attack e3. So h3, queen c2. Yeah, no, e4 is very decent. I think it's a very good idea in principle, e4. Yeah, I would say so, perhaps, yeah. Yeah, I think. Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. So, did our guys play anything here? Didn't move nothing. So, bishop f4, bishop d6, Ali Reza didn't move absolutely nothing, guys. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Can you believe that? He didn't play anything. What is he calculating, I wonder? I'd be very curious to see what exactly he's planning on doing now. Anything. What about this one? What did Hikaru did? What did he do? So rook c1. Hold on a second. c5, okay. Ooh, knight e2. And nothing happened. Knight d2, and that's it. So he gave up on this guy. He's complicating it. He is complicating the game here. So Nakamura calculated a bunch, and he decided to go on to complicating stuff here. He's doing things very complicated now. So if black were to take on d4, if c5 takes on d4, this guy's being attacked. It's just very complicated. He loses according to Stockfish, but it's not that big of a loss. I mean, it's not. Knight b5. Yeah, knight b5. That threatens to just simply take back. Yeah. Yes, indeed. But you know something? You play knight b5. So pawn takes knight b5, and then maybe the other guy plays bishop c5. How do you take the pawn back? Really? How do you take the pawn back? What do you play? Really, what do you play? It's not very obvious, George. I think it's definitely not very obvious. I know. Probably you're looking at this guy here at c7, but after something like knight c7, they could do this, and then what? You got to go back. I know, but what do you do c7 after rook c7, rook c8? How exactly you gonna proceed with your attacking? So cd, knight b5. Wait a sec. Let me check something. The engine says knight c3 and cd, knight b5, rook c8, exactly as I said. Hold on a second. So cd, right? cd, knight b5, as you said, and bishop c5. I said bishop c5. That's what I said. So when I had the friendly conversation with you, we said this, and I said this. I said this. Bishop c5, I said. And now how exactly you are going to proceed. So let me just cover up things here. So I've seen to this point in my discussion with you. I think it's playable. You actually yet to come to taking back this guy. So it's not very clear. I don't trust very much in knight c7 now because rook ac, and I really don't know what you're going to achieve. You're gonna go to have back. You're gonna go to have to move back this guy, and then what? Then a6. Knight b3. Knight b3. Okay. Knight b3. You said indeed. a6. Knight takes. Knight b7. But can I do this? Knight b7. To what end though? Rook c8, rook ac8. Nah, a6. A6 or this guy? Maybe this guy here? So what are you gonna play now? Bishop a6. What are you going to play? You're gonna take probably knight b5 takes on d4, right, George? You're gonna play knight b5, d4. Okay, yeah. I see. Knight takes. Okay, I like the bishop on a6. I like the bishop on c5, which you might take at some point. Probably rook ac. Rook ac. I like the bishop on a6, George. I'm gonna be honest. This bishop is cruising down the board here. And I guess rook 8 to c8 is also good stuff for black to play. I don't think black is worse here. Let me try and see if I can get a feedback or the evaluation bar. Okay. White is gaining space, positional advantage. Maybe. Maybe. It's not very obvious though. It's not very obvious. I don't know. I really so at this point, oh, maybe bishop a6 wasn't that great after all or something. So the bishop knight b3 that you suggested makes sense. Wait. No. Bishop c5. No, wait. There's just a couple of nonsense things here. So knight b3 makes sense, makes a lot of sense. Now I'm not sure about bishop a6 though. I'm not sure about bishop a6. Queen d7, a5, h6, h6, bishop c6. Bishop c6, knight h5. Knight h5 harassing this guy, I get it. Queen d7, okay. Queen d7, knight h5 here for black. Okay. Right, it's a long game here. It's going to happen a lot of things. It's going to happen a lot of things. It's a very tactical, complex position happening. Oops. And wait a second, I think I moved too quickly. FIDE Grand Swiss. Come on, guys. Games here. Believe it or not, George, Alireza didn't move nothing. The accuracy is astounding. Move number 10. They only played 10 moves, by the way. They only played 10 moves. So white had played with 99.1 accuracy. This is just enormous. And black played 98.9. And they only played 10 moves. That's it. Only 10 moves. Can you actually believe that? Alireza spent 40 minutes. Alireza spent 40 minutes for the first 10 moves. And not even now he decided on how to take with. I mean, look at this. Can you actually believe that? This is crazy. So you say something about the Hikaru's game. Wait a minute. And Alex says Serrana. So you said something like, oh my God, this guy's accuracy. Crazy. So, wait. Because they played already. You want to play Queen C2 now? Sure, let's look at that. I think it's not that great after Rook A, but I might be wrong. A little bit of advantage for black, perhaps. Let the engine settle down. So your idea, I think Queen C2 was now. And I suppose Queen C2 probably might be suffering a bit due to... Do we have any Rook C8? No, we don't. What we have instead is an IC3, BC, H6. Rook E8. Yeah, Rook C8 is not even mentioned. Knight C3, Rook E8, H6, C4, Queen C8. Interesting. So Queen C2 is playable, but suddenly he doesn't like it. Knight C3, BC, and H6. You getting cramped or something? That's... I'm not sure. I guess it's playable, George. You're not going to be... I mean, it's not like you're losing or something immediately, massively, but there is something here. Probably not the strongest or something. Maybe not the strongest. So what the engine says... Actually, wait, back to the box. C5. Yeah, and now they stopped here. Now they stopped here. So BC, and then Rook C8, which feels like an incredibly normal, natural move to play here in this position. Okay. All right, folks. So I think we're going to wrap it up now, George. It's probably 1 or 2 viewers now. So been streaming now for almost like 2 hours. I think we're going to take a break now. And Tomorrow being Monday. Monday evening, I'm going to go back on Twitch. And if we get the other guys on Twitch, maybe we can just make an arena tomorrow. Maybe we can make it like a rapid arena tomorrow. 7 p.m. or so, 6:30, 7 p.m. Maybe we can make with the other guys a rapid arena, like for like 1 hour. Yeah, would that be I think doable for everybody on Twitch? Hey, he took the rook. Interesting. So we're gonna try this one then, George. I'm gonna go tomorrow via Twitch, and if we get the other guys, maybe we can do a nice rapid arena. Yeah. I'm gonna be coming maybe earlier just to settle down and see who's who present and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna be setting it up for like 7, a quarter past 7, stuff like that. So we could just kick off around quarter past 7. We'll try this for tomorrow. That is. Okie dokie. So thanks very much. Yeah, that was completely a surprise. I gotta tell you. So I'm gonna watch via my mobile, and yeah, I'm gonna watch it on the little screen now and see what these guys are doing. And yeah, we'll take it from there then. See you guys. See you tomorrow evening, George. Thank you very much, bud, and thank you for the other fellas, Anirudh and who was it, Kyra at some point. Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow via Twitch, I'd say. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the games.